Coming up at 11, President Trump files a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit after a report alleged he has ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Caroline Mueller. Showers and storms produced flooding across portions of the region today, and we definitely felt that here at the station. Let's go ahead and check in with First Alert meteorologist Megan Dusmal for the latest on the forecast on this First Alert weather day. Megan.
Well, we definitely saw a lot of rain all across the region. Now, right now, we're starting to calm down, only seeing a little bit of some shower activity as we're traveling towards Powell County. Here's a look at that live pinpoint Doppler radar. Again, all is clear, only seeing just a little bit of some rain just in Powell County, maybe a little bit of sprinkles as you're traveling towards Menifee and Wolf. And just outside the region, we are tracking this system right here that is moving to the east. So in a couple of minutes to an hour following up, we will see that entering into Wayne County and Pulaski County. Now let's talk about temperatures as we're heading into Hazard, Pikeville, and London. We're mainly sitting in a mixture of the low to mid 70s. Most of the region is also following alongside that trend, but you'll notice it's a little bit cooler as you travel towards Virginia. They had that large rain cell that was producing a lot of rain. It cooled us down as we went through the next couple of hours following that. Now we will see those temperatures dropping down to the low 70s overnight all across the region, with temperatures warming once again into tomorrow, looking at a mixture of those mid 80s. And of course, chances for scattered showers and storms are not leaving us alone as we're heading into the weekend. Still going to see that throughout the day. Caroline.
All right, Megan, thank you. President Trump has ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to release pertinent grand jury records related to Jeffrey Epstein. This comes as the president files a lawsuit against Robert Murdoch for Jeffrey Epstein's story. CBS News' Erica Brown has more.
President Trump participated in a signing ceremony at the White House Friday for the Genius Act. The landmark law is the first major legislation governing cryptocurrency and establishes a regulatory framework for the $250 billion stablecoin market.
The Genius Act, they named it after me, and I want to thank you.
This comes as the White House faces increasing pressure to disclose more information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. President Trump ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to release pertinent grand jury records. And by Friday, the Justice Department filed a motion in Manhattan federal court to unseal the documents. The motion comes a day after a Wall Street Journal report alleged the president wrote a birthday note to Epstein in 2003 that included a hand-drawn sketch appearing to show an outline of a nude woman. The Journal reports the letter ends saying, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." President Trump called the letter fake, writing on social media, "These are not my words, not the way I talk," and filed suit against the paper and its owner, Rupert Murdoch. For weeks, the Trump administration has faced scrutiny, even from Trump's own supporters, who say the White House has not been transparent enough about the Epstein materials.
The sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people.
Also Friday, 10 Americans were freed as part of a prisoner swap involving the U.S., Venezuela, and El Salvador. The Americans were freed in exchange for the return of 252 Venezuelans back to their home country after being imprisoned in El Salvador following their deportation from the U.S. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle spoke out Friday, imploring the Trump administration to be more transparent about documents and information related to Jeffrey Epstein. The U.S. House approved President Trump's request to pull back $1 billion in federal funds for public broadcasting. This will impact local affiliates of National Public Radio like WUKY in Lexington. WUKY General Manager Ryan Lane tells us the NPR affiliate receives about 13% of their budget from the federal government. The other 87% comes from donors, underwriters, and the University of Kentucky. Lane predicts the cuts will impact the radio station starting in October, but he says he doesn't foresee them cutting back on staff.
I think this is a flex point for us where we could really focus on donors and people that support the radio station, and going out and telling the stories of Lexington, as we do already.
As a whole, NPR receives about 3% of funding from the federal government. The CEO says some NPR member stations may cease operations because of the funding cuts. Congressman Hal Rogers voted to support the cuts and released a statement in June when it was first passed in the House, saying in part, quote, "This package is all about pulling back taxpayer dollars that have been spent on things like net zero cities in Mexico, electric buses in Rwanda, sexual reproductive health in Venezuela, and featured stories on NPR about topics like queer animals. Taxpayers shouldn't be funding those initiatives." The Education Department says it will release some frozen funds supporting after-school and summer programs. It comes after nearly 24 states, including Kentucky, filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration in an effort to unfreeze the funding. They're challenging the administration's decision to put on hold distribution of education funds tied to 6 programs. An investigation is underway after a man died at an abandoned mine in Breathitt County. The coroner says he was called to Old Mine Number 2 on Mineshaft Road last night. 45-year-old John Mullins of Magoffin County and his cousin were reportedly searching for ginseng and yellowite when they went into the mine. The cousin said when Mullins started to come back out of the mine, there was a collapse. Mullins' body was sent to the state medical examiner's office. Bell County deputies arrested a Pineville man on multiple warrants. Deputies say 40-year-old Joseph Levi was arrested at his home on Limestone Road. He was wanted on several charges, including receiving stolen property for having industrial wiring from a coal mine area that was worth more than $10,000. He also faces drug-related and other charges and was served with failure to appear warrants from 2023. He was taken to the Bell County Detention Center. A Pulaski County man arrested in May is facing new charges related to child sexual exploitation. Police say a juvenile victim was interviewed and reported a rape. Additional charges include third-degree rape and use of a minor under 16 in sexual performance. Police say more charges are expected. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman is suing a major online retailer. The Chinese online shopping platform Temu is part of a lawsuit accusing them of data stealing. Coleman claims Temu unlawfully collects user data without their knowledge or consent, which then allows the Chinese government to access that data. The AG also accused Temu of stealing the intellectual property of U.S.-owned companies and Kentucky iconic brands like UK and U of L. Coleman's office also says Temu commits consumer fraud and even orders items customers never asked for. A body was recovered at Ratliff Hole yesterday after a teen drowned at the Pike County section of the Breaks Interstate Park. State park officials say they received a call of a potential drowning at 6:45 Thursday evening when the friends of 19-year-old Zach Mullins say he went under the water and never returned. Officials say multiple agencies responded to the scene, and the hopes of a rescue quickly became a recovery, and first responders pulled Mullins' body from the water after nearly a 3.5-hour search.
One of the hardest parts of being a first responder, I think, is having to break that news to a parent. I think on behalf of every agency that responded, our prayers are with the family.
Park Superintendent Austin Bradley says the area is known for its potentially dangerous rapids, and though the water sometimes appears safe for swimming, anyone near the water should be cautious of its currents. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, after years of discussion, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Juul to sell the original e-cigarette devices in America.
And First Alert weather days continue into next week. I'll have more information after the break.